Welcome to HDPP Live on a Saturday night to the UK and around the world with photos, memories and friends. This is HDPP Live. How are you this evening? Are you all well?
Hinckley District has the present for you, meeting friends old and new. Streaming Wednesdays and Saturdays too, with founder members Paul and Sue. The smiles that we bring are a heritage thing. HDPP, keeping history alive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Where local memories survive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Film clips, photos, memories and friends helps a dreary night go by. Wearing Hinckley's six of the best, stupendous, quizzical high. The smiles that we bring are a heritage thing. HDPP, keeping history alive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Where local memories survive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Let's take you back in time. A community affair. We'll take you for a ride. Henson's Cab will take you there. We're making history. HDPP, chapter pauses. History supporting local causes. Streaming HDPP live. Betty is our queen bee. The sweetest honey candy. Dangerous Den here again. HDPP live. Hey, you know you keep it HDPP.
Yes. Thank you. Here we are in that October. We've turned the heat off. We're not going to have, in fact, we haven't had any heat on or so far. The heating is off. And can you see, I thought, well, the best thing I can do for my members is to set a nice roaring fire behind me and all huddle around a candle. There we go. Good evening. Welcome to HDPP Live. Silly fool. Yes, I know. It was Mrs. G's idea. She made me do it. Yeah, I think it's a bit of a good gaff. Anyway, listen, get that off. Just a bit of fun. Be careful with your heating. It's costing more now. Whereas the price of extra strong mints are still quite cheap. So why not have a good suck on that, missus? That's what I would say. Good evening to everybody with us this evening. It's great to have your company. I thought I'd put a different backdrop on. As I'm getting used to this software and stuff, I thought that looks quite nice. And as we get towards the festive season, we will certainly go more that way, I'm sure. Anyway, it's great that you've joined us tonight, our second Saturday night back, and the likes are coming in already. That is brilliant. That's what I like. And Carol Beasley says, I'm wrapped in a blanket. Oh, I bet you look gorgeous, Carol, in that blanket, all wrapped up and ready to be unwrapped. Anyway, Alan Slater says, I like your new decor. Oh, and that looks cosy. It does. Look at the candle going. Look, right, yeah. that way. So things are back to front to my eyes, you see, yeah. Good evening, Derek Price. Hello, and hello to Pat Galloway, who has joined us this evening out of Facebook prison, but back here on, because you'll always find us here on YouTube. You don't get banned from YouTube. So you can always find us, mate, absolutely. And as you can see by how many people are just at the minute, look at the chat so far. There is so much going on. So let me scroll to the top, look, so you can see where we are. Daniel Coburn, hi, mate, and thank you so much for coming on Wednesday night. It was lovely to see you. A lot of people said how much they enjoyed Wednesday night, Jan. How much they enjoyed the night. No, seriously. And it was a fantastic night. We would have liked a few more there. Sadly, the last couple of socials have been a bit on the quieter side. Now, if that continues, we shall have to cancel them, shan't we? We need more people coming. I mean, there's enough just going, but only just. So hello to John Fletcher. Hello, John. Yes. Also, say Carol's here. Say wrapped up in a blanket. And Mr. Blower is here. I can't believe he's actually here tonight. Well done. Normally, he's about 45 minutes behind us. Anyway, that's another thing. Hello to Mrs. Poldark as well. And nice to know you there then, Kit. Alan Slater has now joined us again from New Zealand because he says now we're back on this his summertime thing and whatever, he catches up with us again. Paul Glover is here. Hi, Paul. Hope you're doing okay, mate. And Queen Bee is here along with Russet. She said, looking forward to tonight's stream. Oh, well. I might join you then. Said, wonderful evening on Wednesday. I know you had to leave early, but that wasn't because you weren't interested. Apparently, if you don't get home in time, the gates are shut. So, no problem, Russet. The fact is you were there. That's the main thing. Say, Queen Bee's here. Dangerous Den's here. I'm so glad that the Kirby's have made it at last because there are vicious rumours going around the Kirby's. Anyway, and as Carol Beasley says there, you were missed on Wednesday, Jan. You see, Jan, she doesn't realise what a pivotal part of HDPP it is. David S. is here. Hi, Dave. Hope you're all okay. Oh, and look who's just come in as well. Yes. Not only the crops are here, but Anna and Jeff are here. Hope you're settling into your new abode. Jolly good. Dave B. says, my fire is lit. Absolutely. Who else is here tonight? Oh, I know. Carol Beasley says, oh, yes, she says, oh, don't cancel the social nights, Paul. I look forward to it. Well, I look forward to it, but let's say, to be fair, last couple have been a bit on the quieter side, but yeah, we need to up those figures, folks. So come along. Our next social night this time is all going to be about the Burbage War Memorial. So that... it's going to be fantastic. It's a talk by Paul Williams of the Burbage Heritage Group. Tell you more about that soon. Pat Galloway says, I am so glad for this Saturday feed. Now, does that mean because you're eating or you mean because of this feed? And Tim and Jane are here. Hi, both. Hope you're okay. Hope you're snuggled up. I mean, this is the time, now the fuel is costing so much, to cuddle up together. Absolutely. And keep warm and enjoy the programme. Yeah. And according to Jan, Mike's washed his hair now. Way up, way up. Has he had a bath as well, whether he needs one or not? I know the sort of thing. Okay, well, in tonight's programme, I'm so excited because tonight we launch our prize draw and we've got some brilliant prizes and indeed cash. Oh, brilliant. We're doing that very, very shortly. And we've had a busy week here at HDPP. Not only did we have our social night, which a night with Mr. Nosy. If you weren't there, you missed a peach. There was no doubt about it. And Steve told me how much he really, really enjoyed it, and he loved it. Of course, Carol Saccone, all the way from New Orleans, came and joined us for the night, which was lovely. And they got on so well. That was fantastic. So it was a great night. It was a great night. Oh, good evening as well to Maureen Harris. She's finally made it on. Maureen and Ray are here tonight. So that means we can just about start. Kevin Beasley, late again as usual. Kevin, what do you do before you join us on a Saturday night? But the thing is, you've turned up. Now then, Jeff Wallace said about moving into his new abode. He says, I've turned into Quasimodo with these low ceilings. It won't bother little Anna, though, I know. That's the advantage we have, but still, there we have it. Right, okay, let's get down to it, missus, because we've got lots to get through tonight. First of all, a quick thank you to our sponsors this evening, as always, and particularly Jaspers and Sellers, who last night, while we were down there in... while we was down there in Castle Street, because we were there to see the launch of the Castle Street projection, which we have supplied a lot of pictures to and stuff. But of course, it absolutely down. I mean, it didn't stop to rain. It was coming out. We pretty well drowned it, but for the fact of our brand new HDPP jackets, kindly supplied by Seller & Co. Thank you, Joseph. Honestly, they were so warm and we were so dry. And I've been walking around all day. Haven't I, Mrs. G, saying, them jackets are brilliant, them coats are brilliant. And they are. So, nice one there. Okay, good. Now, news of our scanning session. Our next scanning session is Saturday the 15th of October. We had to cancel our last one because of all the sad news with the Queen, etc. So we are back to our regular slots. And October the 15th, yeah. Come along with your pictures. We want them, please. Okay, then. And our goodies, as you know, always on sale at Jaspers. There is so much, including now you can buy the book Slipping Away from Jaspers, which is by Lynette Lee. And that is a fantastic, true story of her father battling Alzheimer's disease. So listen, it's great, and the proceeds from the sales go to HDPP. So it's a great one of those stocking fillers, as it were. Okay, another thing that we're doing in October. And you'll see these in the side panels, but I thought I'd highlight this for you. We're doing an afternoon of old pictures and films of the town on Saturday the 29th of October in St Mary's Church. Why the afternoon? Well, we were told that a lot of people would like to come to one of our shows, but they don't like coming out at night. Well, okay, fair enough. So, we said, well, in this case then, we will do one on a Saturday afternoon. So that's going to be busy that day. A show in the afternoon and then the live stream at night. But there you go. Pat Galloway, can we have a coat, mate? Oh, I don't know. We'd have to order them very, very specially. It's really for active members, I think, mate. But we'll see what we can do there. Right now. So, meanwhile, back at the script and see where we are. Maureen Harris says, what a lovely background you got there. Yeah, well, it's an inn. It's an old, typical Tudor medieval inn, and you know me and pubs, I like a good proper pub, not a bar. I like a pub, yeah, and it feels really good and cosy behind me as well. Now then, as we move on, firstly, I haven't seen any birthday wishes tonight, so we can go straight on. Let's first of all, before we do anything, because we've got lots to get through tonight, let me launch the prize draw. Now, let me just explain how it works. Basically, we put all these prizes on, and you can. You don't actually get a ticket, but for every £1 you give to HDPP, we put your name in a big glass bottle affair, vase, container, vessel. And on the 12th, I think it's the 12th of November, we will do the draw live here on the live stream. And you could be a winner of some many, many prizes. So with no further ado, let us go through what we've got on offer for you this time. Here we go. And it started at the top, so let's keep on moving it, because I was messing around with this earlier on. Hang on, I've just got to turn the volume down a bit there. There we go. That's we're going to start at the front now. We started in the wrong place. Here we are then. Starting at the very, very front, we have got, because bearing in mind that Christmas will be coming very soon, apparently, it's a penguin decoration for your Christmas tree. There's a nice little one to start off for the prizes here on HDPP's Grand Autumn Prize Draw. We have a Hinckley, Burbage and Bosworth photographed, kindly donated by Paul Hands, one of the group sponsors. And this is guaranteed to last you all next year, every last single day of it, and that's a great thing to put up on your wall to remind yourself of HDPP. We've also got a lovely summer clock. I like this. People know me and clocks. I've got a thing about clocks. I don't know why, but I have. Probably time's up. I don't know. However, so we've got a clock here with the beach scene, been donated for our draw, and time is always handy. Clocks are always handy. You can always find room for a clock. And so there it is, still in its wrapping and packaging. All you got to do is put an old battery in it there. This is the second time that Russet, thank you, second time that Russet has knitted us a crocheted blanket. I say knitted a crochet or crocheted a blanket. You know what I mean. These are great and they're so lovely. Every stitch done with love and care. Yep, and you just can't get these anywhere else, and Russet's made a cracking job. Russet, thank you for this, and that is another one of our many prizes tonight. Here's a nice one, a VW. It's basically like a desk tidy, really. You know, you assemble it all. It's in a Volkswagen T1 shaped look, and there you can put your scissors, your pens, and all that sort of stuff. And if you're into your Volkswagen stuff, well, I think you'd quite like this. Once again, you've got to think, ladies and gentlemen, even though it might not appeal to you, if you win it, it could be a stocking filler for somebody else. That is how it goes, you know. Right, moving on. David Attenborough DVD. This man is a broadcaster god, particularly when it comes to the environment and all his wildlife programs. And this DVD is absolutely superb, and I guarantee, once again, another good stocking filler. Once again, this could be a gift you could be giving to one of your family members this particular coming festive season. Now, we've also got a selection of various gift cards here. So there's actually 4 of them to put in the draw. And they're from, there's Asda, a one for all, 2 Asda ones, a one for all, that's a Musketeer one, an awful one. And there's also a Bowden gift card. I think that's worth £50, that one is. Anyway, so we've got 4 gift cards also, which will be given away separately. For your delectation and delight. Okay, then. And yep, you've been framed with these 2 lovely white plain picture frames. And once again, these things are so handy because you can always do with a picture frame. I always think so. Anyway, and fabric pincushion, missus. Yes, I could say so much about this one, but I'm not going to because I'll get in trouble. But however, there you go, a fabric pincushion kit. Yes. Oh, I want to say something, but I can't. But if you're into your arts and crafts things, you're gonna lovely. Carol Beasley saying, I've got a T5 camper van. That desk tidy would go very well in my workshop. Well, make sure you get some tickets, Carol. Here's a real futuristic clever toys, which was donated to us. In fact, Daniel donated this, and basically, it's a space rail, and you build this sort of track up. And it's like a big executive toy in some way, actually, but it's still sealed up. It's not been opened, I can assure you. We've got it here. It's still got the cellophane wrapping on, and once again, the kids will love this. And I think you launch your ball around it and it goes flying round it. Oh, it's brilliant stuff. I daren't open it. I'd love to have a go. But anyway, so thank you, Daniel, for that. And once again, that is all still sealed up in its box. Yes. Right. Now, here's another lovely prize. This tie, a cufflinks, watch set, and everything else. It looks like something that James Bond would sort of have. Oh, super. My Wish collection only. What a great... Now, that would be a nice Christmas gift for somebody, or indeed a birthday gift. That's a great prize here from Hinckley District, past and present. Okay then, handbag time. Handbags, put them on the floor, dance around them, do what you will. A useful size handbag here, donated to HDPP's autumn prize draw. And this is something to give the man that's got everything, I would say. He wouldn't want it, I'm sure. But there you go. A great bag it is too. And this is, I'm still going, I know. And this is also another good one. This is one of these travel organiser things. You put all your bits and bobs in when you're travelling. And I've done 2 pictures there. One of it open, one of it closed. So you can keep all your cards in it and all your interesting bits of paper that you're probably going to need. All done. I forget what it's called now, but anyway. Do you hear that paper ripping? This microphone can pick up anything soon. So that is another prize. And now, very, very much thanks. A big thank you to MI Installations for donating a £50 cash second prize. So thank you to MI Installations for that. Much appreciated. And so you can win £50. That's our second prize. And as you already probably know, the top prize is, as always, look at this, 100 smackaroos. There they are. 100 smackaroos could be used. We can pay that directly to your bank if you're not living local, so it doesn't matter if you're the lucky winner of £100. And imagine £100 just ahead of Christmas. Got to be very, very useful. Sue says, I can hear bell ringing, it's not me. I don't know, I can't hear a bell ringing. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, as I'm live, I'm trying to do technical things as well. So there you go, that is how you do it. Now, this is how you enter. This is, that bell went, what bell? I wonder what bells, people are on about bells. I can't hear a bell. Just a minute, hang on. I think now, wait a minute, I don't know. Sue is saying, she's pointing like mad. Oh, stop all. Has that stopped it? I've pressed a button, hopefully that. Someone said the bell keeps ringing. I didn't realise it was. If it was, just a minute, because the way I listen to you, the way I listen to this book, anyway, there you go. Answer that bell, it won't stop repeating until you do. Maybe it's stopped now, I'm hoping it is, but has it stopped now? I think one of the buttons... So I've got, this is difficult, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm trying to talk to you and I'm trying to get directions from Sue, who's catching my eye. Anyway, for every £1 you donate, we'll put a ticket with your name on. There's a bell still ringing. Where are these bells ringing from? Oh, I think I know what it is. Please bear with me, ladies and gentlemen, while I tell you this is how you can do it and why I try and sort out the reason you've got a bell. I know what it is. I do know what it is. And what I've got to do now is find a way to stop it. Hang on just a minute, because I'm working here. As I'm talking to you, I have to go to this subscribe bell here and mute it. I've stopped it now. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I was not aware of that. Strange. However, we'll work on that. In fact, every time I change scene this evening, I'll have to make sure that is muted out. I know what it is. It's the green subscribe bell, and that's what keeps going ting every few moments. Yeah. So I'll work on that. That's my problem. Let me work on it. So that's how you can enter. Look, checks payable to Hinckley District past and present. If you're local, you can put the cash in an envelope through the door, but don't please put cash through the post. And you know our address. That is the draw. There's some great prizes there, as you can see. Yes, I've stopped the bell, hopefully. Yes. And Jan Kirby says, I like the Irish music. We've just been to Southern Ireland, touring around, and it was lovely. So there we go. Okay, so there you go. We've launched it tonight. It's on till the 5th of November, and the draw will take place on the 12th. Sorry about that, guys, with the bell. I know what it is, and I can sort it out as we go through the evening. It's because it was a late addition to the screen, actually. Forgot it had got audio. So as I change things, I will make sure I will knock it off. Good. Okay. Right, okay, I think we're ready, first of all, for now, after the autumn prize draw. There's so much to do this evening. The next thing we're going to do is 6 of the best. Here we go. Right, 6 of the best. Now then, as you know, the 6 of the best, don't put your answers on the screen, just write them down. And you've got between now and the end of the programme to get all 6. Okay. Right. No, it seems a lot quieter now somehow, more serene now. Name the 2 jitties in town with the same name. We've used that before, so I'm pretty sure you will get that right anyway. So question 1, name the 2 jitties in the town with the same name. Yes, there is 2. Question 2, guess the date. What year did the Regent Cinema, or the Gaumont as some people know it, when did it cease showing films to become a bingo hall? You don't want to see the sight of it now. It's in such a poor state, what's left of it. Anyway, was it 1966, was it 1968, or was it 1969? One of them is the correct answer. Okay? There we go. So what do you think? We move on to question 3. General knowledge. Good old general knowledge. He's never had any badges or recognition for his service to the country, whatever. Anyway, which English king spent most of his reign on the Crusades in the Holy Land? Ooh, yeah, I know, but do you? Which English king spent most of his region on Crusades in the Holy Land? Even now, I can hear people going, Google, Google. Yeah, that's not the spirit. I can see what you're doing. No, try and do it all of you, sen. Oh, now that bell was a live bell. Right, question number 4. Willowbank Road, that's off Rugby Road, was once known as Higgledy Lane. Is that true? Is it, folks? Now, a lot of you will know. It never used to be called Willowbank Road, but am I telling you right or wrongly? So Willowbank Road off Rugby Road was known as Higgledy Lane. That's the best I could spell it anyway. Or Higgly Lane. Is that true or false? You'll find out a little bit later on. Question number 5. Where am I? I'll let you have a quick look at that. Which, incidentally, we noticed that the Dennis aren't with us tonight, you know. I think they're defected. Right, where am I? Where do you think I am? There you go. We'll give you the answer a bit later on, but that is where I am, somewhere in the district. I'm just leaving it a bit longer. Where do you think? Where do you think? A couple of little subtle clues in that picture. Okay, where do you think? Queen Bee will know where it is. Yes. So there you go. And finally, anagram time. Here we go. The anagram question. Stretching out aisle. Yeah, oh, you can't beat stretching out aisle. Missus. And the clue is handy for train spotting with lover. Oh, missus. Oh. Handy for train spotting with lover. Stretching out aisle. I'll just leave it on the screen a few moments. I hope the Dennis have just arrived. I must have shamed them. Hi, Kath, just joined. Sorry, just remembered. Hello, Paul, Sue, and everybody else. Right. Alan Crop said, I've got 3 right already. There's the anagram question. Stretching out aisle. And the clue is handy for train spotting with lover. So there we go. All right then. So we're doing pretty well tonight for these different things. There we go. Right. Let's have a feature. Let me give you something to take a look at. And tonight, because we've just launched the prize draw, Kathy and Miss, we'll probably nip through the prize draw again before the end of the programme, just very quickly. But last night, it was peeing it down, as you know, well, particularly here over Hinckley. But we had an appointment, which we had to go because the mayor was going to be there. And we were down in Castle Street because we've supplied a lot of pictures for the Castle Street projection, okay? Now this runs for 1 week. Started last night. It's going to be every night, 8 till 10 o'clock every evening. If you go into Castle Street by the Church Walk car park, look up on the side of Charlotte Braham's house, basically. That's the Hinckley Rugby Building Society building, basically speaking. And this just gives you a flavour. This isn't the whole show, just to give you an idea of what it looks like. Here we go. And the music was loud too. Right, I've got to get rid of that bell as well, which I have done there. And so last night, as I say, it was a very wet evening, but we were not going to be perturbed. So we stood there, and bearing in mind this footage was taken on a camera phone, and then, you know, the video's a bit... So you don't really get the full effect. But I wanted just to show you how Hinckley District Past and Present and the council and lots of other local bodies have got it involved, showing you pictures on the wall. Maybe some of you feature on there. You need to go up and find out. It could be you. It could be you. There we go. All happening for a week. Started last night. And, as I say, it's going to be running... until next Friday, Saturday night. There you go. Lovely. Wonderful stuff. Live. See if you get your face on the side wall there. Exciting times. It was good to see. And the sound for it as well. Okay. Now then, that was the first little thing to show you as well. We've done the prize draw already. We've done 6 of the best. I think it's time for me to have a little rest. And we'll... I want to show you this. Now, this is not local. First thing I'll say before anybody says, damn, Anna's got the anagram. Already? That's not fair, Anna. You're supposed to wait a bit. Make it feel like I'm... Never mind. Anyway, the next little film's only about 9 minutes long. It's not local, but given all the changes, I thought, given all the changes that's now happened since this loss of the Queen, this actually explains how the titles work and how things have moved and how it all alters. It's only about 9 minutes long. Sit back and just enjoy this. I think it's fascinating.
Hi, this is Matt Baker. Today I'm going to show you the changes in royal titles that have occurred since the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. So this is what the line of succession looked like just prior to the death of the Queen. And this is what it looks like now. The most important change is, of course, that Prince Charles is now King Charles III. There had been some speculation over what regnal name he would choose, because monarchs actually do get to choose their name, but it was revealed during the Prime Minister's speech on the day that the Queen died that he had chosen Charles III. The other possibility had been George VII, being that most British kings since 1714 have gone by George. For example, the Queen's father had actually been called Albert, but when he became king, he was known as George VI, even though he had a younger brother named George. Camilla is now Queen Consort. It had previously been thought that she would use the title Princess Consort. However, during Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee, the Queen announced that Camilla would use the term Queen Consort. Now, keep in mind that there is a difference between the type of queen that Queen Elizabeth was and the type of queen that Camilla is. Queen Elizabeth was a queen regnant, meaning that she was the reigning monarch, not her husband. However, Camilla is a queen consort, meaning that she's the wife of the monarch. The last time that the UK had a queen consort was in 1952, when Queen Elizabeth's mother, also called Elizabeth, held that role. She was not, however, Elizabeth I. Queen consorts don't get numbers. Queen Elizabeth I was the famous queen that reigned during Shakespeare's time. Now, as soon as the Queen passed, Charles's firstborn son William became both the Duke of Cornwall in England and the Duke of Rothesay in Scotland, because those titles are automatically given to any male who is first in line to the throne. Now, he already held the title Duke of Cambridge, so he is now a duke 3 times over. In England, he's the Duke of Cornwall and Cambridge. Cornwall comes first because it's the higher title, and his wife is the Duchess of Cornwall and Cambridge. Their Rothesay titles are only used when they are in Scotland. However, the day after the Queen's death, King Charles bestowed upon William the additional title of Prince of Wales. Now, this is something that did not happen automatically. The king had to actually bestow it. Traditionally, ever since the year 1301, the title has almost always been bestowed upon the heir apparent to the English or later the British throne. Prior to this, the title had been used by actual Welsh monarchs who ruled the Principality of Wales, which was an independent monarchy that existed from 1216 to 1283. However, in 1283, Wales became part of the Kingdom of England, and hence the title is now used as more of a ceremonial one, rather than being an actual title that indicates who's in charge of Wales. Now, because William is the new Prince of Wales, this means that his wife, Catherine, is the new Princess of Wales, the title Princess of Wales being simply a courtesy title. The last person to use it was, of course, William's mother, Diana. Technically, Camilla had the right to use it as well, but she chose not to, and prior to becoming Queen Consort, she was known as the Duchess of Cornwall. Previously, William and Kate's 3 children used the phrase of Cambridge after their names. However, they will now use the phrase of Wales. Their places in the line of succession have also gone up, with William's son George, in particular, now being second in line to the throne instead of third. Now, some people have asked why Harry is not second. Well, the reason is because European titles are usually passed down, not across, a system known as primogeniture. Keep in mind that if primogeniture was not used, this would mean that Andrew would be first in line, followed by Edward, rather than William, followed by George. And speaking of Harry, he does move up from 6 to 5 in the line of succession, but he and Meghan did not receive any new titles. In case you are thinking that the second-born son always receives the title Duke of York, no, this is not the case. Traditionally, a second-born son does often receive this title, but only if it is not already held by someone else. And currently, the title is held by the king's brother Andrew, so basically it's unavailable. However, there is one big change that has occurred with regard to Harry and Meghan's family. Their children Archie and Lilibet are now officially a prince and princess. In order to be a British prince or princess, one has to be either a child of a monarch, a grandchild in a male line, or a child of the heir's eldest son. Previously, William and Kate's children met the requirement, but Harry and Meghan's did not. However, now that they are the grandchildren of the king in a male line, they are automatically prince and princess. Now, whether or not their parents will actually choose to let them use those titles is yet to be seen. In a similar scenario, Prince Edward's two children were automatically born prince and princess, but their parents chose to have them use lesser titles instead. So those are the main changes, but let me point out a few more things. Obviously, everyone else moves up one place in the line as well, but I won't go through everyone because I actually did that in a previous video earlier this year. I'll link to that in the description if you want to learn more about some of the quote-unquote lesser royals. However, I will remind everyone that both Harry and Andrew are still in the line of succession, even though in both cases they are not official working members of the royal family, albeit for very different reasons. Basically, the only thing that can remove you from the line of succession is death, or actually becoming the monarch and then quickly abdicating. One more title that is likely to change soon is that of the king's youngest brother, Edward. He is currently known as the Earl of Wessex. However, it has long been known that he will eventually be named the Duke of Edinburgh. This title was previously held by the king's father, Prince Philip, but it automatically passed to Charles when Philip died. However, now that Charles is king, the title has basically gone extinct because a king cannot officially hold any lesser titles. This now means that he can bestow it anew on whoever he chooses, and it's almost certain that he'll bestow it on Edward. From there, it will presumably pass to his son James, and then on to James's son if he has one. The king's only sister is currently known as the Princess Royal, a title traditionally given to a monarch's eldest daughter. But again, a person can only receive the title if it is available. For example, Queen Elizabeth was never Princess Royal, even though she was the eldest daughter of a king. This is because during the entire time that George VI was king, the title was held by his sister Mary. If Princess Anne were to die anytime soon, the title would become vacant because Charles does not have any daughters. However, if Anne dies when William is king, then presumably the title will be bestowed upon William's daughter, Charlotte. I should also point out that it's possible that Louis may someday be given the title Duke of York, as this title has traditionally been given to second-born sons. And unless the king decides to strip Andrew of his title and give it to Harry, the next person who's likely to get it will probably be Louis, sometime after William is king. Okay, so that was a look at some of the changes that have occurred since the passing of Britain's longest reigning monarch of all time. Thanks for watching.
hopefully that's just put it into a bit of perspective. But I found that most useful, actually, how the titles all move and shuffle and the, let's say the do's and don'ts and can and can't do's. Found it fascinating. Welcome to Hinckley District Past and Present. We've got a busy night tonight, and I'm aware that people have already got the anagram and some people have got some of the 6 of the best. So what we better do, firstly, let's go through 6 of the best one more time, because some people have missed it, John Denny, but he's got the anagram. That's typical of him. That's typical. Him that only comes along every now and again, sees us, then clears off again. Anyway, but we do know, John, the book. What's the latest with the publication? Because we said we wanted it for Christmas. Silence. Kath Denny says, that was really interesting, Paul. Thank you. No problem at all. Just thought it was of general interest at this time. Now get John to get on with that blooming book. I've got the adverts ready to roll for it. 6 of the best. Okay, let's go. Let's go with 6 of the best. Now then, let's see if this time we can get question 1. Question 1 always disappears. I don't know why. Why is that? Look, I'm pressing the buttons on my... Oh, well. Anyway, what year did the Regent Cinema cease? I don't know why it's doing that. I really don't know why it's doing it. The question 1 was, what are the name... It's the name of there's 2 jitties in Hinckley with the same name. That's question 1. There is 2 jitties in Hinckley with the same name. Okay, that's what I'm after. I wonder why it doesn't want to display number 1. I'll look at that in a minute. Question 2. What year did the Regent Cinema stop showing films? That's the Gaumont, by the way, for those of you who remember it as the Gaumont. When it stopped showing films to become a bingo hall. Was it 66, 68 or 69? One of them is right. Kath Denny says, I'm going to have a word with him, Paul. Thank you. Jeff Wallace said, by the way, I fully understand how the moniker works. Laugh out loud. Good. General knowledge. Which English king spent most of his reign on crusades in the Holy Land? We've all heard about him, trust me. And it's not the one they found in the car park either, in case you're thinking that. Definitely not. Okay, so that is question 3. Question 4. Willowbank Road off Rugby Road was once known as Higgly Piggly Lane. Hey, is that true? Is it false? Am I giving you a hoodwink? Or am I really saying, well, you should know by now? You do know it was called something different though, don't you? That's question 4. Question 5. Where am I? Needs no more, really. I am somewhere in the district. I'm not in Hinckley, I will tell you that. Yeah. I'll just leave it on the screen for a moment so you can just have a quick look at that. Meanwhile, Carol Beasley says, another interesting fact, Charles' reign is called Carolean. We have left the Elizabethan era and we now entered the Carolean era. And Carol would know all about that, I'm sure, bless her. Right. So, and finally, the anagram. It is easy this week. Probably more easier than usual. Stretching out aisle. And this, if you rearrange that, it'll give you a place handy for train spotting with a lover. And that was far too easy, really, but there you go. Why can't I get question 1? Let me have a try again now. There's question 1. It always comes second time round, you see, just to show you that it is there. I'll go back. Okay, then, so... That is where we're to with that. Would you now then, for Paul Glover and for Kath Denny, who was late to the party this evening, let's very, very quickly go through the prize draw best we can. Okay, I'm going to start off. First of all, the grand prize draw is taking place from today through to the 5th of November. We would actually do the draw live in this programme on the 12th of November. So here we go. Here's the prize number 1, 2 decorative penguin, well, a penguin and a snowman for your Christmas tree. Good number 2, yes, a 2023 Hinckley, Burbage and Bosworth photographed. Somebody said, is this John Denny's book? No, it's a calendar. Sorry, but somebody's working on it for me now, apparently, having sharp words in his ear roll. Hinckley, Burbage and Bosworth photographed by Paul Hans is prize number 2. Prize number 3 is a beach clock. Now this is... Hey, I wonder if this tells the times of the tide. It's got a C on. It may be a tide clock. No, it's just a nice, pretty beach clock. To adorn any wall, probably in the kitchen or somewhere like that. It could be good anyway. Russet, HDPP member, has knitted this specially for us, and they are super. I say knitted, it's crocheted, of course, but they are so good that she did one for us before, and I know the person that won it was delighted because that's what they wanted. So that was great. These are so handy, they're good, and you don't see a lot of them about these days, but they're so lovely, and every stitch in that is done with love and care. And into this one now, this is what Carol Beasley wants to win. The Volkswagen T1. It's a shifter box, basically. The idea is it's a desk tidy, put your pens, paper, scissors, anything else in there. And this goes on, on the sideboard or indeed on your desk. Carol, let's hope you can win that. Moving on, a broadcast god that is David Attenborough. It speaks for itself, really. There's 4 DVDs, a great addition to anybody's collection. And of course, David does so much work. All his wildlife films are absolutely fantastic. And then we've got 4 gift cards, right? But I put them all on the screen together. So these are all separate gift cards. So in effect, there is 4 prizes here in one. We've got a couple of Asda gift cards. Then we've got a one for all. Oh, that's a Musketeer one, that one is, you see. A one for all. And then we've got a Bowden gift card, and I think that one's worth £50 off the top of my head. There you go. So there's four gift prizes. Nicely done. And once again, remember, these could be gifts in someone's Christmas stocking. Even if they're no good to you, you'll think of somewhere, I'm sure. And you've been framed with these 2 lovely picture frames here, and they're always handy because, let's face it, I could always find room for a picture frame, and there's usually pictures that go, yes. Now then, a fabric pin cushion kit. There you go. There's so much I could say about this, but I can't. I just can't say it. It's amazing. But I'm banned from making such comments. But anyway, there you go. A pin cushion set. This is a great one. This is still sealed up in its wrapper and everything. Now, this was donated to us by Daniel, and it's you build this like, it looks like a roller coaster affair, doesn't it? And anyway, it looks fantastic. And you say, I think it rolls a ball, or the balls roll round it, up, down, round about, loop the loop, and do the lot. And the kids will love it as well. It makes a great Christmas gift. So listen, maybe the grandkids would like this if they're of a certain age. John Denny says, why can't you need to show these going past on a conveyor belt? Well, you see, you can't please them sometimes. You really can't. I'll tell you what, John, I'll do that when you've done your book. Now, moving on, a lovely gift set. This is cufflinks, tie, and a watch, all there in a lovely presentation box. This will make a lovely gift for somebody, I'm sure you would like. Yes, yes. Ian Roberts said, is there not a cuddly toy? I never thought about a cuddly toy, Mrs. G. We should have had a cuddly toy in this one. No, but we've got an old bag. Here this handbag as well. It does exactly what it says on the tin. There you go. A handbag. Absolutely it is. And this is one of those travel companion sets. I've done 2 pictures, one with it open, one with it closed. And you put all your little bits and bobs, your cards and your hotel booking forms and stuff, documents and stuff. It's all there. A great little gift as well, once again, to fill someone's Christmas stocking, I'm sure. £50 second prize, kindly donated by MI Installations. I will put their logo on there later. I didn't have a chance to do it earlier. So thank you to MI Installations, £50 cash, second prize. Thank you very much indeed. And the top prize, £100. Traveller's wallet, that's what it was. Thank you, Jan. £100 cash. There we go. £100 cash is the top prize. And so the second prize being 50, this is £100. Imagine that just before Christmas. It's going to help out no matter what. And in these days of more forthcoming blooming austerity, I think they're going to be most welcome. So we can sort out some of your Christmas gifts here on HDPP well ahead of time if you enter our prize draw. And here's the details. For every £1 you donate, we'll put a ticket with your name into the draw. You won't actually physically get a ticket, but trust me, we do it all above board. There's if you want to pay by bank transfer, you can do. If you want to do it by cheque, you can. Hinckley District, past and present. If you're local, you can put cash in an envelope and pop it through our door, but please do not send cash through the post. Please don't. And there we are. That is how you will go about it. And as I say, we will be running this from now till the 5th of November, and then we'll do the draw on the 12th of November in the live stream. Right, okay. Paul Glover says, Paul, thank you. So I managed to hear it all this time. And Kath Denny says, some lovely prizes there as well. Yes, actually, very, very pleased with what we've managed to do, because we've been so busy this year. This is the first prize draw we had since last Christmas. Can you believe that? We were going to do an Easter. Then we ran out of time. Then I said, well, we'll do a spring one. Then we ran out of time. We ran out. Autumn, otherwise we'll be out of it. Anyway, there we go. Yes, Jan Kirby was saying that's a traveller's wallet, Paul. Absolutely. She said they are very, very useful. Now then, we're doing well tonight. Let's move on. I've got another little film to show you now. And because the time's getting on and we've still got a nosy to come, I found a lovely bit of film, and I did post it on the group. But this is only about 2 minutes long, but it was great. It's all about Stony Stanton, and if you remember Stony Stanton, when the pit was, the pit that was in the middle of the village, as it were, by the church and behind the Working Men's Club. This gives you just a little snippet, a little show of what it was like. So now then, let us have a look at this. I think it's great. It'd be even better if you got some sound as well, wouldn't it? Trust me, this is approaching into Stony Stanton. I'll just put the audio on for you because there should be audio.
About the centre of England, also about halfway between London and Manchester. A dead centre, you might think, looking at the bits of it. Although it's fairly prosperous, gives a feeling of having laid down and died. Verges just left with concrete posts and chicken wire. No attempt to make anything of them. Fragments of old walls broken down. Still a working farm. That's about the happiest thing in this village. Yet in spite of all that, I did say there was one thing here which could make the place into one of the most exciting villages in England. And it's this. Right in the middle of the village, an abandoned quarry with a lake at the bottom, the houses all around it. It's very hard, very old rock, this. It wasn't much use for building stone. You could use it for rubble. It was more use as road metal. Now the quarry's worked out. One side is a municipal rubbish tip. All round the end, people seem to be chipping in with their own bits of rubbish. What a waste. But think what could happen. You've got a ramp there now. You could get down and use the lake part for small-scale boating. You could have houses all round, looking in, taking advantage of the view, instead of shunning it and herring off somewhere else. It makes you feel this view's too big for the people. They daren't look at it. It would worry them too much. You know, when you think of what Finchingfield has done with its little duck pond, just imagine what Stony Stanton could do.
And there you go. And as some of the comments are saying, he's not said very nice things about Stony Stanton. Well, that was back in 1972. And since then, that big water hole that you've seen there has all been filled in, and it's a green area now. But I remember it like that. And I was saying to Sue, I said, oh, look, I said that. And Sue said, never been to Stanton before. Well, not back in those days anyway. So it was interesting to see. To say the very least, anyway. So a little bit of Stony Stanton. There we go. And the comments there, you can see in the chat room all about that as well. Okay, then. I've got another film before a nose there. My word, it's all happening, is it me? Everything's happening tonight. Good job, I got my glass of water on the go. Let's just take a little tour around Barwell and Earl Shilton this evening before we go for our noser. And while I'm sorting that out, one we haven't shown for a little while, sit back and enjoy a little bit of Barwell and Earl Shilton. And there they were, gone. A little bit of Barwell and Earl Shilton, or Barrow and Earl Shilton for you this evening. Thank you for the bells. Keep those likes coming in, please. And once again, I do apologise about the repetitive bell at the beginning of the broadcast, but we've sorted that now. Stood on it. However, brilliant. We've got one more chance. We're going to have a nosy now, just a few minutes' time. I think it's only, I'll give one more go through the 6 of the best. But a lot of you seem to be doing very well with it tonight, from what I can see. Queen Bee says, I know where am I tonight? So, because I was with Paul when he took the photo. Well, yes, you could say that. Well, we'll go through the 6 of the best one more time. Let's see if question 1 will want to appear again. Hang on. Sometime. Yeah, it's here. Well done, question 1. This is the last chance to see the questions before we do the answers after our nosy. Name the 2 jitters in town with the same name. Question 2. What year did the Regent, or the Gaumont, cease showing films to become a bingo hall? Was it 66, 68 or 69? And general knowledge, which English king spent most of his reign on crusades in the Holy Land? I know you've all been on Google for that one, you cheats. Willowbank Road off Rugby Road was known as Higgly Piggly Lane. Is that true? Is it false? You never know with me now, do you? Question 5. Where am I? There. That's where I is. But where am I? Exactly. We'll give you the answer very, very shortly. Now then, the anagram. People are getting this. Nice little clue, but easy. But anyway, stretching out aisle. Yeah, and it's handy for train spotting with lover. There you go. Lovely. Okay. And just as we get through that particular lot, Gary Betterley, all the way from France, has just... Where have you been, Gary? We've all been talking about you. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So that's where we is. And I'm still keeping nice and warm with my single candle behind me and a nice roaring fire because with the price of heating and everything all going through the roof now, we've all got to try and keep warm. And I thought, try and give you a nice warm picture to look at, Somebody says, does that fire make toast? Yes, it makes great toast. I can tell you that for sure. Okay, then. Now, if you missed, the social night on Wednesday, you missed a peach. It was brilliant. Steve Picker, Mr. Nosy himself, was there. And he did us a great chat. In fact, he was so easy to talk to. It made my job very easy. In fact, it was quite funny. I'd wrote a big list of questions. He answered most of them all in the first few paragraphs. But Steve was so easy to talk to. Made it a real easy job to do. And of course, he's so knowledgeable and he's so into it. He's so passionate about the heritage, like I am. So it made it so easy that I think what we're going to do is make that once a year. We'll always have a Mr. Nosy night as a social, because I think it would go very well, and it gives you people that missed it a chance to go along. Before I let Mr. Nosy come on now, let me just remind you, for those of you that didn't make the social and you want to see it. If you go onto the group page on Hinckley District Past and Present, if you search for Ian Walker, because Ian is the lad that streams it for us from his phone, so he posts it as himself onto the group so people can see it live. So it's still on the group, but you need to look for Ian Walker, and it's in 2 parts, part 1 and part 2. Okay, so search for, on Hinckley District Past and Present, search for Ian Walker, and then it'll list his posts in the group, and then you'll see myself and Mr. Nosy talking on the stage as we did on Wednesday night. Like I say, it would have been nice to have a few more people there, actually. In fact, Steve said, there's more here than what I thought. I said, no, they can do better than this when they want. But there you go. So let's hope that our next social coming up at the end of this month with Paul Williams from Burbage Heritage, I hope to see a lot more faces there, because it's going to be a fascinating talk about the history behind the Burbage War Memorial. And as you know, we've given you the history, thanks to Greg Droach, the history behind the Hinckley War Memorial of 100 years. And of course, we will be screening that again around Remembrance Time, as we always do, and rightly should do as well. Okay, time for a nosy then. Time to sit back and indeed enjoy this nosy, a repeated nosy, because we're still waiting Steve to post the Swannington incline railway bit, which he hasn't quite finished yet. So let's have a classic nosy. Steve, in you come.
Hello and welcome to Let's Explore. My name is Steve. Right, first things first, got a very special guest for today's video. Now cast your minds back a few weeks ago. Some very kind gentleman, a very nice chap, donated a couple of torches to this channel, and he is actually with me today. This is Andy. Say hello, Andy.
Hey up, you eat?
There you go, proper Colvillian, ain't he? Well, he's actually from Leicester originally. Got the old Leicester lingo going on, ain't he? But yeah, this kind chap donated those torches to me, and it turns out me and Andy have got a hell of a lot in common. Not only does he live at the end of my street and loves all this exploring as well, but he's also a drummer. So for that reason, it's a 10 from Len. Right, let's get you over to the maps and show you where we are today. So in future videos, you're probably going to see this man bombing about all over the shop with his camera. So we hope so anyway. Anyway, let's get to the maps. Alrighty then, so courtesy once again of Google Earth, we can actually look at today's exploration area from above, and as you can see where that red arrow is indeed pointing, that is roughly the area that we explored today, up and around Norris Hill Hall, or the former hall of course, and we're just the other side of Ashby de la Zouch, between the villages of Blackfordby and Moira. Okay, so courtesy of the National Library of Scotland, and at the same time the University of Leicester, because it was the University of Leicester that actually provided a file, a PDF file that you can download about an archaeological dig that they did at the site a few years back, because there's actually not a lot of information about Norris Hill Hall on the internet, not that I could find anyway. So this is an Ordnance Survey map that you're looking at, provided by the Library of Scotland, and this is 1885. And the blue writing, of course, has been added by the university. So we actually started the exploration today in the north, where it says greenhouses and garden buildings. Then we went to the southwest, where it says stables and outbuildings. Then we went right over to the east, where it says cottages. And then we finished in the south, where it says hall demolished. And I can't take any credit for finding this place. I never knew a bean about it till my old mate, Robert Stanley Palmer, sent me some images of it. So Rob, if you're watching, thanks a lot, mate. Right, so Norris Hill Hall, a once beautiful home that I think was built in the 18th century. I'm not certain on that, but I do know that there are some cottages over there that we'll look at a bit later in the video that were built in the 18th century that are associated with this place. So I would imagine that this would be 18th century as well. But we're starting to the north of the property. What you got here, you've got quite a substantial wall here, look. And just over there as well. Now, these are part of former outbuildings up here. Because what you've got here, look, I'll just show you this. Just have a little run over here. I feel like Tony Robinson on Time Team, where he's darting between trenches. You've got here, look, a reasonably, and when I say reasonably, intact tool shed here. Now, there's a door around the other side. I'll show you that a little bit later, because I've got to get round to the other side. There's a lot of brambles here. I'm not cutting myself up this morning. So yeah, that's quite interesting. I'm sure that is a tool shed. But there's quite a lot to look at with this one today. So let's get on with it. It's a good one, this. Really glad that we found this place. All thanks to my mate Rob. Right, and here is the tool shed. Now I'm pretty sure this was the tool shed. I've seen a bit of an archaeological report on this. Very interesting report, because like I say, this house, there's not an awful lot of info about it, to be honest with you. I mean, when I told Andy about it, I think, well, you looked into it a bit, didn't you? But you couldn't find a lot about it, could you? I mean, I've only found one photograph of it. I mean, there will be a local history group somewhere with some info, but yeah. So I'm pretty sure that this is an old tool shed / workshop up in the corner of the property. But yeah, not an awful lot to see in here. I just love, I forgot what these trees are called now, but I absolutely love how nature just takes over. It's It's stunning nature. You know, there's no lie in nature. It's incredible, especially this time of the year. Now everything's waking up because we're pretty much at springtime now. But yeah, interesting old structure all the same. Nice bit of brickwork just there, look. Right, so one of these big walls that you're looking at once would have been part of a large greenhouse or glass house. And then, of course, just about now, this is the tool shed up in the top right-hand corner of the property. Right, so just before I forget, Andy, who we're out with today, he's got a fantastic Instagram page called Walking with Shadows that, if you're into this kind of stuff, I highly recommend you go and check out because he's come across some amazing stuff over the years. So head on over to Walking with Shadows and follow his Instagram page if you like this stuff. You'll love it. Right, so it's a freezing cold morning this morning, but it's a beautiful morning at the same time, and the sun has just come out, it started shining, temperatures are starting to rise slightly. It was -3 when I got up, but because the sun is coming out, it's now shining on something very interesting just there. Let's go and take a look at that, come on. Right, so what you've got here is a former storage facility, I think, some kind of outbuilding to do with the hall. This isn't the hall. Just get out of the way of the blinding sun there. As you can see here, this outbuilding, it's quite interesting because what you've got, looks like you've got some old render on the inside wall here, look. Very interesting. Of course, this place is pretty much in tatters now, it's in ruin. But what is fascinating about this particular ruin is just over a wall on the other side. Because just above that fallen branch there, poking up, is a very interesting piece of very old agricultural equipment. And you know what we're doing, don't you? We're having a nosy. Come on. Right, so what you're looking at here is an amazing piece of former agricultural equipment. Now this is incredible, and this I imagine would have been associated with the hall, of course, and you know what purpose this served, I'm really not sure. It could be some sort of large lawnmower, and I'm only guessing at that because you've got these rollers, and there's actually 3 rollers there, and I was thinking actually that it could be some sort of roller system for a lawnmower to make the grass look nice when it was being cut, but maybe not. But just here, look, got a really old wheel here, and of course we know this is very old. This is a wheel that wouldn't have had tyres on it because the tread is built into the metal, you know, metal treads. So absolutely incredible this is. And of course just round here, look, I'd love to know how old this is, and if there's anybody watching this that knows a thing or two about agricultural equipment. Oh, just stabbed me knee then with something sharp. Never mind, eh? But what's great here, look, you got the old handles here, look. It's not been used for a very long time, this hasn't, whatever it is. Just down here, it's chain driven as well because got really old chain here, look. Look at that, isn't this amazing? What an amazing find this is. And some sort of old gear here, look. That's interesting, isn't it, in itself? Look at that. And one here, a bigger one, and a small one there. So some sort of driving system or gear there. Amazing. Absolutely beautiful. What a stunning find. What an amazing thing to come across on an exploration of an old hall. Just look at that. Beautiful. Right, so this beautiful old ruin that you see before you're here, and that's that structure there, not this one. This I think used to be part of the old stables for Norris Hill Hall. And what we'll do, we'll go and have a little look inside. Of course, it's pretty much in total ruin, more or less, but there's still a bit to look at. And you know, it's an amazing structure. And what always amazes me about these places is, you know, the hall is pretty much demolished, apart from something extremely interesting within it that I'll show you a little bit later, because that is amazing. I came down here the other day and found that. What always amazes me, of course, the hall has been pretty much all demolished now, apart from that one bit that you'll love. But yeah, when you're going to demolish something, why do they leave structures like this up? Now, I'm really glad that they did leave this how it is, but you know, why not knock this down as well? I've never got my head round that, to be honest with you. So, but I'm very pleased that they did leave it here, of course. Right, let me show you inside this. It's very interesting. Right, so I'm 100% certain that this, what you're looking at now, is not Norris Hill Hall. This is, I think, the stables that were next to the hall. The hall was actually behind us. I know that because I've looked at the old Ordnance Survey map. But what you've got here, I think, is the stables. And it's quite interesting here. You've got, there must have been some really big kind of door here once, maybe a large stable door. I mean, just here, there may well have been a ramp down here or something because we're on a lower level where I'm stood now. And I say that because you've got here, look, a really big hinge there and one up the top there just before the old brick arch there that's now all sadly fallen away. But I'm pretty certain that this is the former stable. It's certainly not the hall. I know that 100%. I think I'm right for once in my life. But yeah, very interesting that you've still got this metalwork still in place here. Looks like a bit of a segregation area for horses to me. There was also one over here, and actually looking at it, this here on the right would have most likely followed through to that side. I imagine maybe a bit of a tack room as well over there for the horse riders and people associated with the home, I imagine. But this is a very interesting piece of metal here. It had something else on it once. As you can see, it's now rusted and rotted away, but that's very interesting. And if you know what any of this metalwork is, especially this, I'm wrecking the place, please let me know in the comments. But stunning, and very lucky to still have this here, at least, as a ruin. But yeah, amazing once again. Here he comes. I don't think he knows I've seen him yet. Sneaking through the undergrowth. I can see you. You're not going to jump out on me. Here he is. It's like Sasquatch walking through the American forest. A bit smaller than Sasquatch though, to be fair. Only joking. I won't put that one in, I don't think. So what we've got here is something very fascinating. Now, my mate Andy just here. What did we say this brickwork was?
Glazed bricks.
Glazed bricks. You see, that's why he's here. That's why we bring Andy round. That's why we call him Handy Andy, because he's very handy, I'll have you know. But what we think this is, well, what Andy thinks it is, we'll give him all the credit. We think this is a bit of a pond, don't we?
Yeah.
That's what we think.
Feature.
Yeah. Now, if Spawn of Wessex is watching, he'll most certainly know what's going on here because he knows everything. But just over here, look, got a bit of a plinth here. Right, you tell the world what you think that's for.
I think that's for the pump for this water feature. I think there's a fountain in the middle of it.
See, that's why he's here, and I think he's right actually, because we've got all this pipe work here, look. So, yeah, so I think Andy is right there. I think there was a bit of a fountain here once, and
Intake there.
yeah, a bit of an intake.
Level overflow there.
And a level overflow over there. And of course, the back of the hall, I mean, I will show you on the Ordnance Survey map, because you can see a bit of a blue pool, which we think is a fountain just over there. But the back of the hall kind of starts here, but you'll understand it when you look at the map anyway. But yeah, let's give you a bit of a close-up of this. It's fascinating, to be honest with you. Looks brilliant. Right, so as Andy's just pointed out, I'll give him all the credit for this because he knows his stuff. He knows it a bit more than me when it comes to stuff like this anyway. What we think here, or what Andy thinks, and I think he's probably right, these are anchor points for what he thinks used to sit a pump. And just down here, look, you've got this indentation next to this beautiful old brickwork here. And he thinks there used to be a flywheel there that used to drive the pump that used to sit there and was piped up to what we think used to house a fountain there. It's a great theory, and I think it's a 10 from Len, mate. I think you bang on the money there, mate. So if Spawn of Wessex is watching, if we are correct, if you are correct, he'll want your autograph. I'm telling you. Right, so I just found something very interesting here. Now, of course, this area here, this is workshops and a stable. Just here, look, I found an enormous floor tile, and like Andy's just pointed out, this isn't like for a kitchen. This isn't a kitchen tile. This is really robust, where probably heavy works went on. Most likely horses walking about, because they're very heavy horses, aren't they? So I mean, just look how thick that is. That's a good 2.5 inches thick, that is. That's amazing. It's heavy as well. You could do a bloody workout with this. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, very interesting. Definite floor tile. Very, very robust. Right, so a few hundred yards away in that direction, you've got what remains now of Norris Hill Hall. But where I'm standing now, you've got another amazing set of ruins here. Now what this is Norris Hill cottages, and I'm pretty certain that they are associated with the hall itself. And this is an amazing structure, and I found something very interesting with this that I'll show you shortly. But we'll have a little walk round, and I think you'll like this. It's an amazing structure. It looks like it's about ready to fall down in places, so we'll have to watch what we're doing. Just look at that, incredible. So I'm pretty sure that these former cottages, that substantial cottages by the way, I'll get to that in a second, I'm pretty certain that they were part of the hall itself back in the day. But you know, this has been improved over the years. Well, looking at it now you wouldn't think so, would you, to be fair? But you see, the thing with this place, the original part of it I think is 18th century, so it's very old, and I think back in the day, back then when they were built with thatched roofs, and I think it pretty much changed a lot over the course of 50 years. Because what they did here, they made them bigger. And let me just show you this. Now if you ever come up here, just watch what you're doing, because it's not stable in places. Just here, look. See that curved wall there? That, I'm pretty sure, is a tower that had a staircase going up it. Quite hard to tell at the minute, of course. You see those holes in the brickwork just there, look. You know, that has been a floor there as well, but I'm pretty certain there was a staircase here once. Got an old fireplace here as well, look. Beautiful. But my favourite piece of this area around the cottages is right in front of me here. Just look at this. I think this is incredible, to be honest with you. Right, so for me, this area around the cottages, because there was 2 cottages here, and I'll show you something about that in a minute that me and Andy have just been discussing. Just look at that. An in situ fireplace. Well, what's left of it, the face of it anyway. Ain't that incredible? That's stunning, that is. When I first seen it, when I was approaching this place from just over yonder, over there, I seen that and I thought, is that just scrap? Is that just... But no, it's not. That is in situ, I'm pretty sure. And of course, behind here, yeah, this is a fireplace. Look here, look. We're behind it now. So just down here, look. Got brickwork there. And then a separate room where I'm standing now. Now, what's very interesting here, as I've probably already mentioned, there used to be a staircase here. I'm pretty sure of that. Now, we know that these were cottages. There were 2 of them, or maybe 3. I think there was 2. But as Andy's just noticed, I missed this. I nearly walked away from it. This one here, this is definitely 100% a staircase. Because just look at this. Starting here, look. Here's where the stairs would have started. So, got a brick in there, look. So there's your hole there. You'd have had wood here, of course, to build the stairs. One there, and then it started, of course, spiralling up here like that. But as I've mentioned, these cottages started life in the 18th century, so in the 1700s, of course. And back then, I think they started out as smaller dwellings with thatched roofs. And then later on, I think, I'm not certain, in the early 19th century, these staircase towers, or whatever you want to call them, were added on. Now, just here, look, and Andy's just noticed this, because this is why we bring him, don't we? Because he's handy-handy. Round here somewhere, it looks like this was newer, later added on brickwork that tied in to the old cottage at some point round here. And then these staircases were added on. So absolutely fascinating. And so pleased to come across that old fireplace there. How incredible is that? But you know, sitting in a sorry state of repair, this place, of course. I mean, there's no way that you're going to get home improvements round here. Do you know what I mean? This place is finished. But yet again, a great playground for people like me and Andy. And another great piece, yet again, of local Leicestershire history. We're a stone's throw away from Ashby de la Zouch, not far from Colville. Brilliant. So pleased we'll come up here. Right, so what we've got here, we know this is an external wall here because we've got what looks like a drain pipe there. But what's fascinating, me and Andy have just been discussing. Now, I know that this place has been improved over time, and I'm sure that I've seen that these cottages are 18th century, the original parts. Now, what Andy thinks, and I think he's probably right, this is the older part here, and we think it was like a single floor, don't we, at first, but we think a floor has been added on here. Now, just here, we've got a big old fireplace. Now, this could indeed be a kitchen, I'm not certain, or a sitting room, I don't know. But we think upstairs, just there, you can see where the floorboards went across there, look, there's another little fireplace up there. We think this is all, that is a second floor add-on, especially looking at the brickwork, because the brickwork here on this level, this is really old, and of course, a bit of a Gothic arch here. Now, I'm not saying this is Gothic, I mean, I think that period ran from the 12th to the 16th century, the Gothic period. It's a Gothic arch, but we know that they still built certain things in this kind of style, didn't they? But this is very old brickwork, and like I just said to Andy, it's not as old as Bradgate House at Bradgate Park in Leicestershire. No way is it. But the brickwork reminds me a little bit of it as well. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's an extraordinary little property, this is. Well, it used to be anyway, but yeah. Definite exterior wall here, because you've got really old pipework on the outside. Beautiful. See, I'm learning Spawn of Wessex, and we'll get in there. Right then, so just over my left shoulder here, what we've got is the former stables and outhouses of Norris Hill Hall. 200 or 300 yards in that direction, we've got the former cottages that we were looking at just now. But I think I've saved the best till last, because in all this undergrowth here is where Norris Hill Hall used to reside. Now, of course, there's no big high walls or roofs or anything anymore, but what I think is there is even more interesting. And you know the drill by now. There's only one thing for it. Let's go and have a nose there. Come on. Right, so this is where the hall used to reside. We know that 100%. Got these mounds of earth here, look. Old foundations of it. And this was a really nice looking property back in its day. But what is fascinating up here, as you're about to see, we haven't got any of the floors left anymore. Well, apart from one, the one underneath the house. And of course, you know what I'm talking about, don't you? We've got the old cellar. And you know what we're doing? We're going in there. I ain't come walking about around this old pile to not get in there. Let's go and have a nosy and show you. It's fascinating. Right, I've got to try not to fall down a hole as well. If you come up here, watch what you're doing. Okay, so courtesy of the University of Leicester, what you're looking at here is the only photograph that I've actually been able to find of Norris Hill Hall. This was taken in 1897 when the hall was put up for sale. It's a bit of a ragged photograph, but it's a great one, and it gives us a good idea anyway of what it used to look like. Right, so I feel privileged to be able to go down here. So this is, of course, a former cellar of Norris Hill Hall, and it's a bit of a rabbit warren down here, to be honest with you. There's all sorts going off, but this is the best example of it that we can get in anyway. Anyway, without any further ado, let's get in here and show you it. There's a lot of rubble, but it's very interesting inside. I've already been in here, so come on. Right, here we go. Deep inside the rabbit hole and all that. Right. So it's very interesting in here. Very sharp as well with all these bricks, but yeah, this is an old cellar, and very, very old. I mean, is it 18th century? I would imagine so, because we know that those cottages over there are part 18th century. But what's interesting here, look, now this has been infilled a bit, I think. Of course, you've got all this debris down here, all this brickwork that's fell in. Now, what we're standing on, I'm not sure, isn't the original floor, of course, all debris and bricks in here. But let's just look at this doorway here, look. Now, unless Frodo Baggins used to live here, and his uncle, well, he might have done it. It's a bit like Hobbiton, isn't it? This is on Lord of the Rings. But that's a very small doorway. I mean, that is around about 1 metre wide by about 1.3, 1.5 metres in height. So unless there were very little people that lived here, maybe the borrowers lived here, I don't know. But we know there's a doorway there because we've got an old hinge here, look. And there was probably one down here somewhere, not sure. But very, very interesting. Old latch here, look, by the looks of it. And just here, look, you've got another part of this. Like I say, it goes off in all directions. Definitely an old cellar. It's got to be. That's what I think anyway. But a fascinating old structure that we're really lucky to have to be able to go inside. And what is very interesting down here, look, got this old stone here, look, with marks on it. So maybe when it was carved out, maybe they are the marks from chisels, from stonemasons. That's an interesting thought, isn't it? Just here, look, you got this other stone here. Now, if Spawn of Wessex is watching this, again, he's shouting at the screen. Got this interesting hole here, so not sure what this was for, but very intriguing. But yeah, this is an amazing piece of construction, and I feel very privileged to have been able to come inside here. But of course, where I've just accessed it, hole in the roof, this would have carried on that way. So amazing. I hope you enjoyed that anyway, because I did. Okay, so unfortunately that concludes today's video. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I've had a fantastic time down here. I know this gentleman has here as well. He's loved it. He's been bombing about everywhere with his camera. He's been proper Indiana Jones in it. But yeah, fantastic place this is, and you know, well worth a little nosy. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, if you like this video, please like, subscribe and share, and I'll see you very soon for another video. Take care of yourselves. Bye.
And there we are, yet another nose with Steve. One of his earlier ones, actually, because obviously he's not got his wireless microphone. So every time he turned away, that's why the sound dropped a bit. But there you go, progress, as we say. A great nosy. Glad I dug that one out because we've got lots of his noses. And I always like to bring you the latest one when he does them. But I think he's been quite busy. I think he's got quite a up and coming band. So there you go. Alan Crop says, that's good. Not seen that one before. Nice one, Alan. Thank you very much. A good nosy, says Jan Kirby. And Dangerous Den. Absolutely intriguing. Again, a good nosy, Steve, said Maureen. Great nosy, Steve. Spelt G-R-A-T-E. Great. Get it? Great. Oh, well. Anyway, there we go. Lovely. Fantastic. So I'm glad you enjoyed that. Of course, Steve will be back next week with a nosy. It might be another vintage nosy. Depends whether he gets his latest one posted very soon. Kath Denny also saying, well, a great nosy it is too. Right. Well, you know what that means, don't you? It's time to give you the answers to 6 of the best. Now, I'll ask you as when we get to the end to put your scores up. Okay. But first, I wonder if we got question 1 this week. He's missed it this time. Anyway, question 1 was name the two jittyways in Hinckley with the same name. The answer to that would be, of course, the Narrows. One being off the lawns into Hill Street and the other one off John Street down through the cemetery. They were both called the Narrows. Question 2. Guess the date. Now, what year did the Regent Cinema cease showing films to become a bingo? Oh, yeah, was it 66, 68, 69? Well, it was actually 1968. The last film was called Tower of Terror, and it was starring Christopher Lee. Then the cinema closed, and I think it was about a month later or so, they reopened up as a bingo hall. Yes, well done, Jan, 1968. General knowledge. Which English king spent most of his reign on the Crusades in the Holy Lands? Well, we all know. We've all heard of Richard the Lion Out and stuff, haven't we? Yeah, well, Richard I, of course. He spent his time over there, and then when he tried to get back, because he got held hostage, you know. Anyway, he was on his way home, and then he tried to do a chivalrous thing and got an arrow, and that was the end of Richard. Yeah. Oh, look at Jan Kirby, Richard the Vote. Jan's really playing the game tonight. True or false? Willowbank Road off Rugby Road was known as Higgledy Piggledy Lane. Of course, it was not. No, it wasn't. So the answer to that is false. and I won't give you the answer to what it was really called because I can use that question another week, okay? So look out for that coming back when I really will ask you for what its real name was. So the answer to question 4 is false. Question 5, where am I? Well, I wonder how many got it right. Let's just see whether Jan got this right. Where am I? I was somewhere in the area. I was not in Hinckley. I'm going to put the answer on the screen in just a couple of moments' time. I'm just giving anybody a chance to have a go. Okay, if you don't know where I was, answer coming now. Well done, Maureen Harris. Shilton Vaults, yes. I'm over in Shilton. Look, yes, I've had to go back there, you see. So, there you go. I was in Shilton at the Shilton Vaults. Okay, that's where the answer was, yeah. Kath Denny, Shilton, yeah, okay. Church Street, Burbage. Thank you, Carol, I love you. No, on Church Street, Burbage, okay, all right, okay. And of course, Maureen is saying, of course, that was the King Bill pub. Of course it was, yes. Of course. And finally, the aniogram. The aniogram stretching out aisle. Yep, you might stretching out aisle and do a bit of train spotting all at the same time with your lover. Rearrange stretching out aisle and you should get the courting styles. Yes, Dave B, you've got it right. Well done. And Russett's having a go at still back on one of the other questions. The Lionheart for Richard, of course. Jan Kirby, the courting styles. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Carol B said the soldier threw me. Where did he throw you though, Carol? Anyway, Alan Crop said, well, 4 for me, 2 for Marie. That's not a bad score, 4-2. So let's have some of your scores now. So far, Alan Crop has got 4. 5 for Jan Kirby. Yeah, she's been doing her homework, is Jan. And we asked you to answer honestly. That's fair enough. Paul Glover, 5 out of 6. Jennifer Richardson, 2. The thing is, you have a go. It's all for fun. You don't get nothing, no prizes here. Dennis Perkins, 3. And Russet said 3 again for me. Yeah, Carol Beasley, 3 for me. Maureen Harris says 6. Good grief, look at this. 6. Maureen, you're getting too clever. Carol Beasley, 3 for me, as I say. And Kath then said, I got 1. Well done, Kath. Absolutely. Jennifer Richardson said, I was late, though. That's okay, Jennifer Richardson. No problem. Dave B, 2 out of 6. The thing is, the old point of 6 of the best is actually, if it increases a bit of your local knowledge, that's great. And it's a bit of fun as well. And that's great. So that's what we do 6 of the best for. And I hope you've enjoyed it. Well done. So Maureen Harris with 6. Absolutely great. But... and Elizabeth Moore, Queen Bee, well, let's put that in there. Queen Bee got them all, but already knew the picture, yeah. And Ray got most of them, says Maureen Harris, as you can see there, as the scores are coming in. Dennis Perkins, 6. You deserve a drink, Maureen. They've been talking about drinking all evening in the chat room, by the way, I'll have you know. So there we go. It's been a very busy night. We've been on air for, blimey, must be one of the longest, 1 hour, 45 minutes. Blimey, surely the Screaming Shout Show is finished by now. That's where Steph is, by the way. Anyway, and on that note, that's it for me and Sue this week. Can I just remind you, nip to Castle Street any evening between now and Friday. See the street projection on the wall of the Hinckley Rugby Building Society. It's free. It lasts about 6 minutes. Go along and have a look at it. It's well worth a look anyway. And like I say, HDPP and other organisations, the Council and Heritage England, have all had an hand in it. Go along and just say, I went to see it. That'll be good. And as I say, we look forward to your company next Saturday night, 7:30. Remember, this is where you come out of the way of the Screaming Shout Show. And because you'll only see the highlights. You'll only see the highlights on BBC News later in the night or the next day. So what's the point? Anyway, Carol Beasley says, well done, thank you. Nearly my bedtime. Carol, I'm sure you're still wrapped up in that little blanket, yeah. And also, Alan Crop says, thank you. Great night in. And thank you. And like I say, thank you for coming to the social as well on Wednesday night. It was great. And lovely to see you all in the chat room tonight. We'll be back on Saturday night, 7:30. Remember to keep it HDPP and to keep it live. Until then, take care, everybody. Good night. Bye. Oh, hello. Well, fancy you coming back here. You see, I was just about to turn around and do some toast behind me, and the candle's still flickering. Got a nice fire and stuff, so I'm gonna take these tight shoes off. I'm gonna take. No, I can't say that. Anyway, I'm going to take my shoes off. Oh, I could get into trouble. I'm going to take my shoes off and I'm going to wriggle my toes in front of the fire. Remember doing that as kids? I remember when you had leaky Wellingtons or wet feet, and then you sit there in front of the fire and watch the steam rise from your socks. Oh, happy childhood memories. Happy childhood memories it is. Right, for those of you that have never hung on this long, this is the part of the programme where basically, I always like to try and send you to bed with a little chortle, a little laugh. And in this case, a few dad jokes to send you off to bed with a bit of a laugh. So I think we're just about, are we all about ready? I think we're all about ready. What do you call a spooky burrito? A burrito. There, we're off. Thank you. Okay. Today I just got a photo from a speeding camera through the post. I sent it straight back. It was way too expensive and very blurry. Oh, here's a controversial one. Why did the monkey and Jane fight over Tarzan? Because they heard that he swings both ways. I like that one. Professional. I have two boys, 5 and 6. We're no good at naming things in our house. I know. And why? Why did the coffee pot file a police report? It was mugged. It was mugged. Yes. Almost there. My wife told me she thought we'd have less arguments if I wasn't so pedantic. I told her, I think you mean fewer. And to finish with, everyone says I excel at my job, fertilising the fields. All I do is spreadsheet. Spreadsheet. I thought that was quite good. And finally, this is it. What does the man in the moon do when his hair gets too long? He clips it. And on that note, that's it for another week. Thanks for your company. Look forward to your company next Saturday. Till then, take care. Ta-da.